Superfood for me is a completely new way of thinking. It's a revolution in my life, and I know it's going to be one in your life. It's not just about kale and quinoa, it's about cooking smart with simple ingredients. Making the most delicious, nutritious food doesn't have to be about faddy, fashionable ingredients. You can make them from things that are around you. It's just how you put them together. To inspire you to create nutritious recipes that your family will love to eat, I'm going to take you around the world to explore some of the healthiest cuisines on the planet. Kimchi! Woo! Now you're flirting with me. Where families eat simple, healthy diets. What more do you want? Loads of family, friends, good food. And live long. I'm absolutely speechless. And active lives. From Alpine Switzerland. Not like the lakes where I come from. I mean, I'd drink that. To the amazing flavours of South Korea. All I can tell you is it's bloody delicious. And the stunning island of Sardinia. I want to pick the plate up and hug it. So good. Inspired by what I've learned, I'm going to show you new and ingenious ways to give a superfood twist to your family's favourite dishes. From breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're going to love it. Oh, I don't want you to eat healthy food because you have to. I want you to eat it because it's delicious. With every meal, we all have the power to make a massive impact on our health. Tonight, I'm heading to 3 health hotspots on our beautiful planet. I'll be winding my way down to the South Korean island of Jeju. It's absolutely delicious. In search of culinary wisdom to bring to a lunchtime dish of delight. Fast, furious, and full of all the good stuff. Closer to home, in the shadow of the Alps, I'm harnessing the health benefits of Switzerland's most prized product, chocolate. Oh, come on! I'll be sticking some cocoa into a wonderful savoury dinner that packs a nutritional punch. You've got 5 of your fruit and veg a day in one portion. From Alpine Switzerland to the rugged interior of Sardinia, where I'll be admiring the handiwork of an 86-year-old shepherd. He's properly strong. In his honour, I'll be creating a superfood shepherd's pie with a mighty nutritious ingredient for another delightful dinner for the whole family. Happy days. But first, let's kick off our family superfood day in the kitchen with the most important meal of the day. It's breakfast time, guys, and getting protein in your diet for breakfast is so important, and one of the best and most readily available is the lovely little free-range egg, and of course you can do so many things with it. If you think making breakfast takes ages, think again. It'll take you 10 minutes, and it's a scrumptious way to start your family's day. One of the things I've struggled with for many years, if I'm just honest, is the poached egg. Yes, I can do it, but it was kind of like playing with me. It was sort of like some were good, some were okay, some were bad, and it was quite frustrating. And then I came up with this little hack, this little tip that made every single one perfect. So let me let you into a lovely world of the magic poached egg that never goes wrong. Check this out. You get yourself some cling film, you create these little pouches, and then of course you can flavour them with different things. Lovely shaved mushrooms, tiny bit of truffle oil. You've got little bits of tapenade in there, all these kind of flavours that you have around the house. You can take really fiery harissa, and of course the flavour cooks into the egg. So I want to show you one of my favourites today. Get yourself a little bowl or cup. Get yourself some non-PVC cling film and lay out a little sheet like this. So then we need to have a nice little drizzle of olive oil so I can create a non-stick surface. Then I'm going to lay this little sheet into our cup, and you can just use your hand and let it sort of sag in. Now, one of the things I love is smoked salmon. Just 10 grams will give you extraordinary flavour. So tear up little pieces, and you can buddy it up with stuff. So I'm a kind of a little bit nuts about chilli, so I just put a few little slithers in here, and then some herbs if you want. I've got some chives here. So at this point, get yourself a nice free-range egg, and I'm just going to crack this in. And over the years, with the improvement of farming and feed, eggs have actually got more and more nutritious with the feed that they eat. So it's a good thing. Now, make a pouch by pulling up the cling film and squeezing out the air. Then twist and tie up. Simple. Just reminds me of making water bombs when I was a kid, but this time with gorgeous, tasty, lovely things in it. So there you go. It couldn't be simpler to cook. Just stick them into a pan of simmering water for about 6 or 7 minutes for a lovely runny yolk, or longer if you like it harder. What I do want to do is use the heat from that to steam some spinach. I love having this, and of course, just having eggs on its own, as lovely as it is not a balanced, fully nutritious meal, and that's what I want to give you in superfoods. So I'm just going to rip up 80 grams of lovely spinach, and you can put the lid on top, and that'll wilt in a minute, minute and a half. So then we've got veg, protein, and then I'm going to use beautiful bread for the carbohydrates. A really, really important thing that we need to do is we're not eating enough fibre as a nation. Studies have shown that high-fibre diets are associated with a decreased risk from some cancers. So a really easy trade-up is from white bread to brown. Cut yourself a lovely thick slice, and by the time it takes to toast, your spinach will be done. I think we can have a little feel of our eggs. It's feeling nice, so that can come out now. That should be beautiful and soft in the middle. Top off the toast with a heaped teaspoon of cream cheese. It's delicious and got less saturated fat than butter, a definite bonus for a healthy heart. Hit the spinach with lemon juice and add a little salt and pepper. You can just sort of hug it a little bit to get rid of any excess moisture. Whack that on the toast. And now the moment of truth. Cut the knot off, pop the egg onto the toast, remove the cling film, and there you have a perfect magic poached egg, flavoured to your liking. Get your knife in there, and hopefully, yes. And you've got a mouth-watering, beautifully balanced breakfast with less than 300 calories a portion and one of your 5 fruit and veg a day. Look at that, come on. Guys, what are you waiting for? Magic poached eggs. How would you do it? Balance it up, get that superfood vibe going in the morning, set the day up right. Boom. Happy days. I'm heading to the South Korean island of Jeju. Rates of heart disease here are a staggering 1/3 of the UK's, where it's the #1 cause of early death. The answer to Korea's heart health could lie in a little ingredient that packs a punch, the sesame seed. High in thiamine and polyunsaturated fats, good for lowering cholesterol. Jeju's Black Pork Street is famous for the meat it's named after, and traditional Korean barbecue, gojigoon.
Hi, Jamie.
Chef Bong, how you doing, man?
How are you?
To find out how important sesame is to South Korean cuisine, I'm meeting Chef King So-bong. This is Black Pork Street.
Yeah.
And the black pork, is that a special pork?
Yeah, only Jeju.
The Jeju black pig, coated in black hair, is unique to the island. And so is the way that they start their barbecue here. They grease the grill with a cube of pork fat. Side dishes like kimchi and bean sprouts are also cooked on the grill. Many of these dishes here have got sesame seeds.
Yeah.
It's in the soups, in the kimchi, it's in the sauces, the dips.
Yeah.
This is normal?
세사미, 참깨는 이 요리에 이제 향과 맛을 더 도와주고요. 식감적인 부분이나 맛적인 요소까지 다 도와주는 역할을 해줘요. 그리고 참깨는 이제 1년 내내 항상 볼 수 있는 이제 곡류이기 때문에 항상 모든 한국인들의 밥상에 꼭 올라간다고 생각해 주면 더 좋을 것 같아요.
In England, we have to think about using them.
Yeah.
Sesame seeds to you are almost like salt and pepper, aren't they? They're like a seasoning.
이 참깨가 음식에 들어가고 이 음식들이 나온다는 게 뭐 매일매일 똑같기 때문에 이게 특별하다는 생각은 가지 못했어요.
I think like what the Korean diet gets right is this kind of array of beautiful things. If you talk to them about it, they're not really aware that they consume huge amounts of vegetables. They're not really aware that they consume large amounts of nuts and seeds. And they're not really aware that they have small quantities, actually, compared to us, of meat. But, you know, here we've got lovely, fatty, rare breed pork, free range, so it's a quality bit of meat. But actually, a lot of the fats going into a Korean diet are polyunsaturated fats from nuts and seeds, really healthy fats that protect your heart. So it's really interesting how Korean food's just got this fantastic balance. Chef Bong's cooked the pork to perfection. The first biteful is traditionally dipped in sauce. Sesame, of course. Okay, I'm gonna copy you.
This
Yeah?
pork and this.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Really
more,
roasted flavour. Very good. Sesame oil, salt, sesame seed.
Yeah. And this lettuce.
Okay.
2.
2, okay.
And this is sesame leaf.
A sesame leaf.
Yeah.
If you haven't got enough sesame oil and sesame seeds, now we have sesame leaf. So now we're doing like a roll. Okay. Into that leafy goodness goes the barbecued black pork, spicy bean sprouts, garlic and onions.
This.
Roll it all up.
Nom nom.
Nom nom.
Nom nom.
In the mouth.
Yeah.
That was a big mouthful. It's absolutely delicious. Those sesame leaves are amazing. So let's build one more of these, brother.
Okay, okay.
So we're going to take some pork.
Kimchi and pork
Yeah.
and 1 garlic.
Okay. Let's wrap it up.
This is makgeolli bowl.
Right.
Yeah, rice wine bowls.
We have to raise a bowl of peanut rice wine to the Koreans for the subtle and delicious way they've managed to get sesame in all its glorious forms into their diet. Oh, that's delicious. So look, this is a local wine, which is definitely not a superfood. But even this is made out of peanuts, which is a legume. It still doesn't make it healthy, but anyway, cheers. Seeds and nuts, guys, the Koreans love them, and they use them in so many dynamic ways. And evidence is now showing that diets rich in seeds and nuts are showing lower cases of type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. So, well worth thinking about it, and we're going to use them in style in this dish. A hearty Korean-inspired sesame chicken lunch with rice noodles and Asian slaw. It's got future family favourite written all over it. So, first up, we're going to use complex carbs with our lovely rice noodles. Definitely, if you've never tried them before, get a pack. They're in all the supermarkets, and they're brilliant. You don't even have to get a pan out. Just get yourself a kettle, grab a little pinch of salt, and we're going to rehydrate these lovely noodles. And after about 5-6 minutes, they'll be gorgeous. So you can just put those to one side. Next, I'm going to cook up a couple of chicken breasts, 120 grams each. Removing the skin reduces the saturated fat by nearly 70%. You'll notice that one side of the breast is thicker than the other, so we want it to all cook evenly. So just put a little bit of greaseproof over the top and just give a nice little light whack to that thick end. If you don't fancy bashing it even, you can slice it horizontally and open it up. I've got a griddle pan on. You could use a frying pan if you want. I want to season the chicken with salt and pepper. I've preheated this griddle pan. I'm going to drizzle just a little bit of groundnut oil over the chicken. I'll use a fork just to rub that oil in, and we'll take the chicken straight over to the griddle pan, push it down nicely, and about 3 to 4 minutes on each side is going to be perfect. Let's have a little clean up. So while the chicken's cooking, the noodles are sorted, let's make something exciting with veggies, okay? And I love the concept of a slaw. You can cheat brilliantly by using a thin slicer on a food processor. Brilliant. But look, that's going to take like 6-7 minutes. That's soaking. We got 5 minutes. We can make a slaw. You can vary the veg. I'm kicking mine off with half a finely sliced Chinese cabbage and a couple of peeled carrots. A crinkle cutter for veggies, anything crunchy, is just really good fun. Next up, a red chilli and some asparagus, speed peeled. This dish will start and finish in 15 minutes. No, but even 20 minutes is still fast food. It'll take you longer than that to get on the phone and get a takeaway. I can guarantee this will be more nutritious, it'll be more tasty than most, and it'll probably cost you a lot less. Next up, 4 spring onions. Finely slice the green part, spin the white around, and slice it lengthways. Bang in some mint and a handful of sugar snap peas for some vitamin C. So if you look at the pan now, guys, you can see it's half cooked, so we'll turn it over and look what we got, guys. Gorgeous, golden, charred marks. That's going to be attitude and flavour. While the other side cooks, I'm going to dress the raw veg with the zest of a lime. Roll it to release the juice. A tablespoon of soy sauce, low salt is preferable. The crunchy slaw will contrast nicely with the soft noodles. Let's get back to my hero ingredient, sesame seeds. I'm going to put about 2 teaspoons of sesame seeds in the griddle pan. Let them toast away for a few moments. Then get everything out of the pan. There we go. Happy days. So we've got soft, hot, steamy noodles, crunchy electric slaw, perfectly simply cooked quality chicken just resting away, going to be sprinkled with the sesame seeds. I want one last element of this dish that will come together in no time at all. I want a sauce, a really simple sauce. We're going to use peanut butter, so a nice tablespoon of that, and then I'm going to have double the amount of natural organic yogurt. So 2 tablespoons goes in, and fresh ginger goes in, okay? And a little lime juice and ginger brings the peanut butter together in such a cool way. And we're done. Mix that together, and you get this incredible, deep, tasty, but kind of fresh, kind of satay sauce. That's the cooking done. Time to build. Drain and divide up the noodles. Slice up the chicken about 1 centimetre thick. Use the cooking juices as well, and serve up the slaw and sauce. Then, of course, where we began, where we started, a celebration of seeds over the chicken, like that. How's that for a picture-perfect plate of goodness? With 3 of your 5 fruit and veg a day and only 489 calories a portion, your family lunchtime transformed. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. There, my friends, is a lovely superfood dish. Fast, furious, delicious, and full of all the good stuff. I've travelled all over the world learning from some of the healthiest people on the planet, and these recipes are inspired by what I've learned. We started our superfood day off with a banging Herby smoked salmon breakfast, followed by a Korean-inspired lunch of sesame chicken, Asian slaw, and rice noodles. 2 meals, 3 of your 5 a day, that just leaves dinner. Next stop on my journey around the planet's healthiest countries, Switzerland. It could be known as Chocolate Land. They eat more of it here than anywhere else in the world. Some studies are showing that although it's naughty, 1 or 2 squares per day of dark chocolate with a high cocoa content could be healthy for us, keeping blood pressure down, which in turn could reduce the risk of strokes and heart attacks. And more surprisingly, dark chocolate could protect us against type 2 diabetes. Here in the small town of Schweiz, I'm going to find out how the cocoa bean gets transformed into chocolate. I'm going behind the scenes with master chocolate makers, Sepp Schong-Bakler and Lionel Tissot. Wow, so this is where all the beans come in. For over 100 years here, up to 35 varieties of cocoa beans from around the globe have been turned into high-end chocolate, used in professional kitchens the world over. So where did the best cocoa beans come from?
You walked just to the right bean. So this is Maracaibo Grand Cru. Only about 3 to 4% on the whole planet is Criollo quality, high flavor bean.
So all of the cocoa beans in the world, this is like the Aston Martin.
It's very important to understand as well that the farmer that we are working with, they are not using artificial chemical product for the fertilizing.
Right, so all organic.
All organic.
Yeah.
So this is now a dried bean.
Wow. But I mean, part of the health benefits of chocolate is the fact that it's a bean, right?
Yeah.
And pretty much beans are always incredible for health. The beans have to be cleaned and sterilised by steaming at 170 degrees Celsius before being roasted. It's our Willy Wonka. It's all about getting the best flavour from the bean, and roasting times differ with each variety.
We roast to the characteristic of the cocoa bean. So, smell.
Yeah, it's starting to smell like
So
chocolate now.
some beans we roast for 20 minutes, some other beans we roast for 40, very slowly.
So this technique, is it quite similar to like coffee roasting in the modern day?
That's right.
Once they're roasted and cooled, the cocoa beans are cracked to reveal their precious cargo, the cocoa nib. So that's the cocoa nib.
Yeah, that's the coconut.
So that's what it's all about. It's the cocoa nib that gets transformed into chocolate as we know it. First, it's liquefied. Wow, it smells incredible! This is a first for me, an intoxicating taste of 100% pure cocoa liquor. That was insane. Right, first of all, that room is like the most intense smell of chocolate I've ever had in my life. Is that just the cocoa beans?
This is 100% cocoa beans.
So that's 100%?
Yes, yes.
Can I stick my finger in there?
Yeah,
I have
we
a
can
spoon
take
for you
spoon
if you want. But you can use your finger.
Don't worry about it. It's delicious, but it's quite dry. I mean,
It's dry, yes.
that is pure chocolate.
This is pure, and you will see this will stay 25 to 30 minutes in your mouth. The flavor will change.
So if you take the best chocolate you've ever had, times it by 10, maybe 20, that's what it is, and it is bitter.
Yes.
So that's why we add the sugar, right?
That's right. So you can bring out more the flavors.
This is where it starts to take shape. The liquor is mixed with liquid cocoa butter, granulated sugar, and if the recipe calls for it, Madagascan vanilla. It's mixed, kneaded, and refined into a powder. Oh, yeah.
It's a huge difference.
Completely different. So is this the end?
This goes now into the conch.
We're not even done yet.
No,
Okay.
it takes another 60 or 70 hours.
70 hours?
Yeah.
These conching machines from the 1930s constantly move and aerate the mixture to develop flavour and texture. This can take up to 72 hours. Oh, it's heavy. Oh, look at that.
It's indulgent. I always compare this with good winemaking in a barrel because you develop the flavor very slowly over time.
What eventually comes out is high-quality chocolate known as couverture. Ready to be shipped out to chocolatiers to make into confectionery all over the world. So this is the bit I'm waiting for, boys.
That's it.
All of that love and that care. So that was one of the most delicious chocolates I've ever put in my mouth. I mean, this is probably the most unusual moment for me in the wonderful world of superfood because obviously chocolate has sugar in it and sugar is a problem in our diets. We're having too much of it. But at the same time, the cocoa bean has got incredible nutritional kind of caliber, hasn't it?
That's right.
Your average bar of chocolate is often low in the good stuff and high in sugar. To get the best from chocolate, get the dark stuff with high cocoa content. So if you're in the shops, you should go for like, what, 60% cocoa solids? 70%
Yes.
cocoa solids?
Right,
You'll have a better product, you'll enjoy it more, and it will have way less sugar. Chocolate is one of the nicest things in life. And if you're gonna have it, do it right. The good old Swiss. Where would we be without the wonderful world of chocolate? So I'm going to use that cocoa powder to make a beautiful Mexican-style veggie chili. This is a delicious, delicious dish that has 5 of your fruit and veg in one dish. How's this for a superfood family dinner to die for? Smoky veggie chili with some nifty nutritional pulses and a Swiss-inspired twist. I've got my traditional kind of casserole-type pan. Let's whack it on a medium heat. Nice. But what I've done is I've put a griddle pan on the heat, okay? High heat. And we're gonna start charring up stuff. I'm gonna quarter 2 onions, break them up into the griddle pan, and char them for 3 minutes. And then in the other pan, on a slightly lower heat, we're gonna go in with the flavour base. Kicking it off, a tablespoon of olive oil, a heaped teaspoon of cumin seeds, 2 finely sliced garlic cloves, and 1 or 2 fresh chilies if you can handle the heat, and 2 heaped teaspoons of smoked paprika and cocoa powder. It has the ability, cocoa, in this dish, to round off all the flavours and make it as one. I love it. And then last but not least, a tablespoon of peanut butter goes into this base. So we'll mix that up. That is the welcoming party to all of these lovely grilled veggies. It's dark, it's got spice, it really is unusual, but you're gonna love it. And you know, I'll put chilli in this when I think whether it's kids or just fussy eaters, you can't just throw them into the deep end of a big, sort of robust, exciting dish. You might have to just pull it back a little bit on the spice and just sort of slowly, you know, ramp it up, you know, introduce different veggies. But that's the kind of spirit, right? That's why this dish is so great. You can kind of fade it up and down to your own personal preferences. Into the pot with the charred onions. And next in line for a good griddling, 3 mixed peppers. This will give them a lovely smoky background flavour. It's not your everyday like chili, right? It's different. I really like this kind of prepping here, charring here, and building the story there. It's a really nice way to cook. So in we go with the peppers. Straight in with the red ones. It's definitely worth not skipping this stage, okay? Because when you dry toast and grill stuff, especially if it's on a barbecue, you achieve all these new flavours. Cut 600 grams of sweet potatoes into 1 centimetre slices, skin on, and they'll cook down beautifully. Finely slice a bunch of coriander, saving some leafy bits till last. Get the sweet potatoes into the mix, followed by 3 tins of plum tomatoes. Swirl them out and put in 2 tins of water. The last thing I'm going to put in here is beans. I've got some lovely beans here, butter beans. I'm going to go over to my stew and I'm going to put in the juice. And if you put the beans into the griddle pan, give it a shake and just don't touch it, they'll start to pop and split. Now, why would I do that? Texture. When I was a kid, my mum used to put kidney beans in a chili con carne and I'd pick them all out because they were slimy little things, right? But if you look now, the inside is fluffy. We've got flavour. That ain't no slimy bean right there, guys. That is a bean with attitude. You see, I know I'm a little bit weird because I actually, when I cook, I do watch it like telly. I do go into the oven and I watch things rise and caramelise and cook. And sometimes I bring my kids over and say, look at that, look at that. And they look at me like, you are so boring. But I don't care. I love it. Look, we know for a fact that Brits don't eat enough beans, right? The Koreans eat 10 times more than us, okay? So next time you go to the supermarket, have a look. Get 1, 2, 3, 4 different beans, get them in your cupboard. And next time you do any kind of chili or stew, have a little pop-up. Get it in there. Little ways of getting the good stuff into your everyday cooking. This is what it's all about. It's not just about my recipes, it's about some of the kind of thoughts, some of the attitudes, up in the veg, getting the beans in there. Just get that into your own cooking. Get the pot butter beans into the veg, give it a season, and it's ready for the oven. Now here's a little kitchen hack for you. Cover the pot with greaseproof paper. The greaseproof paper just kind of allows it to slowly sort of cook down and evaporate, but kind of stops it from doing it too quickly. Along with 8 small baking potatoes, the chili's gonna cook for an hour in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. So the chili's had an hour. Let's get in there and have a little look. Oh, yes. Seasoned to perfection, stir in the coriander, and this beauty is ready to serve. Straight in with the veg. Grate a little cheddar cheese over the jackets, and for another hit of dairy, natural yogurt. Taken to the next dimension with a pinch of smoked paprika. And a final flourish of coriander. A good, honest, wholesome plate full of food for a hearty dinner, and only 445 calories to boot. That is so good, deep in flavour. You've got 5, yes, 5 of your fruit and veg a day in one portion right there. Easy, home run, do it. I'm gonna hit you with another dish for dinner. And for inspiration, I'm heading to the beautiful Mediterranean island of Sardinia. Sardinia is not only blessed with crystal blue coast, but at its heart, is a magnificent mountain region. So today, I'm heading inland to an area called Solanus, famed for amazing health and long living. Here in Sardinia, they have more 100-year-old men than anywhere else on the planet. These guys are clearly doing something right, so I'm looking forward to meeting Tonino, a strapping 6-foot-tall shepherd who's lived here all his life.
Tonino.
Tonino, piacere. Jamie.
Questo è mio figlio che mi aiuta.
It's a day of hard manual labour with an entire flock of sheep to shear. Tonino, he's using the old school shears. Nothing electrical, nothing mechanical, and he's taken the whole fleece off. So it's done with a lot of care. It will be a tough job even for a young man, but Tonino is an incredible 86-year-old. For someone of his age, amazing. And this is what he does. He looks after the sheep, you know, all the time himself, apart from on shearing day, where his son comes along. 2 generations here, late 80s, late 60s. I bet these sheep are really happy to get these fleeces off in this weather, right?
Sì, sì. Sono contenti adesso loro di toglierli da là.
These are long, heavy, warm fleeces. And this is the perfect time of year to get rid of them. And actually outside are all the men, these are all the girls, and they're talking to each other. But when these come out, their girls are going to look totally different. One down, about 20 to go. I really want to know what's fueling Tonino's strength, and I only have to look at what he's growing to discover his secret weapon. Fava beans, or broad beans to you and I, are a staple of these shepherds. They're low in fat, high in protein and fibre, and a fantastic superfood ingredient. And here in Italy, they eat almost 12 times more beans than us Brits every year. So I'm delighted to be joining Tonino for a typical bean-fueled lunch, prepared by his old-school friend Maria, herself 88 years young. Buonasera, Maria.
Buonasera.
Come stai?
Bene, bene, grazie.
Maria has already got a pan of Tonino's fava beans on the go.
Queste fave le ho seminate nel mio terreno.
Sì?
Sì, è un terreno che viene molto di sapore buono.
We've got fava beans in here. We know them as the humble broad bean, okay? We grow these back home. He will only eat his own beans, like many of the local people around here, because it's cheap, because it's seasonal, because it's nutritious. He'll have them fresh, for sure, but then he'll dry them, and he'll dry them for the rest of the year. So they've soaked some beans in water overnight, and they're boiling them now. So Maria, come la cucina fava?
Non solo le fave.
Okay.
Si mischia tutto, brodo e fave.
No, ma se il brodo è troppo, lo devo togliere un po'.
What's cute is these two have known each other since they were like 5 years old. So the banter's great. Exchanging cooking tips here.
Calma, calma.
I love it. It's like me and my wife cooking. So, cipolla?
Col fritto.
Maria fries some onions in olive oil and once soft, adds her homemade tomato sauce. Then it's all into one big pot with the beans, broth, some cabbage and a small amount of pork meat, bones and fat.
Un piatto tradizionale, antichissimo. Nei tempi si mangiavano
le fave.
quasi 4 volte alla settimana si mangiavano le fave.
Really?
No. Tanto, la gente era povera in quei tempi.
This is a real poor man's cooking. You know, he's talking about a 400, 500-year-old recipe. If you actually look at the whole pot, it's mainly vegetables and beans with a little meat. They would have been really hungry, working manual labour. So this would have been full of the good stuff, the broth, the vegetables, the beans, energy. And of course, they work it all off up the mountains or whatever they're doing. Maria now simply leaves it to cook for an hour and a half. It smells incredible. Can't wait to try this.
Ecco la cena pronta, signori. Eccolo. Allora, servitevi.
It smells amazing.
Speriamo che sia buono.
Pasta?
Sì.
Oh. I'm humbled to be offered this real taste of traditional Sardinian food. Homegrown, self-harvested, and cooked with love and care by an active community over double my age.
Oh, delicioso.
This is so tasty. You know, the ratio of meat is quite low, but it's given exceptional flavour. But, of course, the whole story started with the humble broad bean. You know, this village, this area is testament to beans being incredibly good for you. They're used all the time. So let's get creative. Let's put a handful of beans in a dish here, in a stew there, a soup there. Let's just big up the beans, guys. So if you want to be as strong as this man, by the time you get into your late 80s, get on those beans, ASAP. Everywhere we've gone around the world where we've studied long life, healthy life, Okinawa, Ikaria, Greece, we've looked at Sardinia, Costa Rica, they've all had diets high in beans. And there are really interesting studies that are showing now that older people that have regular amounts of beans do live longer. So we're going to get beans into this next dish, an absolute classic, shepherd's pie. But with a superfood twist, of course. Coming from cannellini beans to boost the nutritional content of this bad boy. So, first up, I've got some lovely minced, high-quality lamb. This is lean lamb, okay, so it's not super fatty, and we're going to go dry in the pan. Now, what we're going to start doing is breaking that up, rendering the fat out, and we want caramelisation. We want to brown that meat off. That's where you're going to get extra flavour. Season your lamb with 2 generous pinches of black pepper and a little salt. Next, a herb that's lamb's best mate, rosemary. Finely chop yourself 2 sprigs. Having that flavour is not only delicious, but it helps you to reduce the amount of salt that you need because you've got big flavour already. In we go. Finely chop 2 onions and add them to the mince. Now for the hero ingredient. Beans in an old school shepherd's pie. I don't really remember seeing them in there, but that doesn't matter, okay? Because what's nice is actually in many examples, whether it's a little beef burger patty, a meatloaf, you can actually reduce meat and then bulk out with beans. It's a brilliant thing to do. Adding a tin of drained cannellini beans will ramp up the fibre content, as well as adding extra nutrients like iron. And you can hear it's still frying, right? It's exciting, really exciting. Next, boost that classic ragu flavour, plus your 5-a-day quota with diced carrots and celery sticks. 2 of each. Big up the veg, really, really colourful. I've got 250 grams of mushrooms here. They give a real savoury depth to this lovely shepherd's pie. And by the way, if you were a vegetarian or a vegan, you could just pull that mincemeat out and put some more mushrooms in, and you would still get something that was really, really delicious and comforting. So, mushrooms in. So look, we've had 10 minutes of high heat, stirring, adding the veggies. You can see it's kind of sunk down. Absolutely gorgeous. Go in with a heaped tablespoon of plain flour for thickening and 800 millilitres of chicken or veg stock. Once it comes to the boil, whack a lid on and leave it to simmer for half an hour, leaving you free to crack on with the mashed topping. So, love potatoes. They're really, really great. They're a starchy carb, so they don't count as one of your veg, but they are delicious and they give you texture. Quarter 800 grams of potatoes, and I've got a nice tip to show you how to get even more veggies into this dish. I've got a nice Swede here. I love cutting mashed potatoes by 50-50 veg. Add some of this in, and it's really, really delicious. So I'm going to put the Swede in first. Boil the Swede for 10 to 15 minutes before throwing in the potatoes to cook for the same length of time again. Look at this ragu. I'm going to turn it off now, and I have a little trick of how to get it even better. It involves mint sauce. My wife loves a bit of mint sauce. A couple of little teaspoons, maybe 2 or 3. Lamb, mint, lovely, but also there's vinegar in there. So that little bit of a twang. Then a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Notice it goes in at the end so it doesn't get cooked away. So this now is next level, I promise you. Oh, ready and raring to go. Pour your ragu into a serving dish and then mash up those gorgeous drained Swede and potatoes. Classically, with this, there'd be a whole load of butter going in. Delicious, but that's not going to be a superfood day. So, then we use milk, Just 2 tablespoons of semi-skinned will do the trick. Then grate in 15 grams of good quality cheddar. So, you know, it's just clever ways of getting flavour up. Of course, butter is fantastic, but actually by gram, cheddar cheese is lower in fat and you get way more flavour, so you get better bang for your buck. Season your mash and you're ready to start topping your shepherd's pie. I don't want to have a sinking potato top. So what I do is I get 350 grams of frozen peas and I just put them on the top. They're going to be like a little layer that keeps your potatoey topping on top. Frozen peas are brilliant. They're already part cooked and then snap frozen, and a lot of that nutrition is kept in there. So really, really cool. And my family absolutely love them. Pop your delicious mashed potato and swede onto that layer of peas, and using a fork, score the top so it will catch and go super crispy. Bake your pie at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 50 minutes until golden and bubbling. About 5 minutes before the end, I just put a few bits of rosemary in a little olive oil on top because it smells and looks delicious, and that's it. That is going to be the most fantastic shepherd's pie. You're going to love it. And there she is, blipping away, absolutely gorgeous. Crispy top, you've got all that lovely gravy coming through. Really, really beautiful. So let's serve it up. My superfood shepherd's pie, boosted with beans, will serve 600 people happily, because as you can see, these portions are generous. Let's have a little go. So good. The flavours are deep. The gravy is indulgent. The potato and sweet topping is crispy and delicious. That, my friends, is clever cooking and food that is really good for your body. Happy days. So there you go, the ultimate superfood shepherd's pie, packing in a massive 4 out of your 5 fruit and veg a day, and all for just 436 calories a portion. That's going to be a total family favourite. You can't argue with that. For a day of superfood for the whole family, kicking off with a hearty Herby smoked salmon breakfast, a lunch of chicken coated in sesame seeds with rice noodles and Asian slaw, and for dinner, a killer smoky veggie chilli with cheesy jacket potatoes, or super shepherd's pie with cannellini beans. At less than 500 calories a dish, it's good, honest, healthy food to keep your family in tip-top condition. Love your family, love superfood.